Apa yo ola lo telefoni tape loa kebinge. Once you enter this room, please turn off your phone. Mole mole. There's 4 minutes amata tatu poka la pe ia ona amata pa. Ia ona amata lo ia le mole mole. Le no tanto ole poka la mele ta pena nei. Ele ai mas leo eu acho pa o tau tala mele apa men fa alo. Eu acho pa o se no fo. Distract ele ia le time o le presentation na le tine. Mele o te talo toi mele fa alo fa mole mole. Eu acho musu musu iles o lo bino. Ia tanto alo tu la fono tanto pre-pageant na interview. Fa mole 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 nganga fa alo lava. Ele fa ia se fia mali o se si danga ya fa na tanto ia le fo ile fa moi o la le Samoa fa mole ia tal no le stay fa basa ni ai ia o pole fa mo fia si de fa si no pe mai ia se tralo tai mi amachalo ia tanto po kala me fa walo Oi se oi sanga le kusa la ngururi oi faf. Le ha le ki a le la ufa ma. Ya, round of applause for all our churches. Well, I said before, 15 more minutes before we start, but the judges are all here, so I think we should start now. Yeah, ve yelo leo fatau waa, e whai mafonga tau mori mori, o le sunga i le taitai o le mane e event, sunga i ale ataua, Jerry Jang Mau, Brunt. E whawhelo i atu i paia, man malu au fia whawhelo i atu le malu o le au whamasino, ia mai lantou o lo ngafa ma le whamasino ina o le nei tau wanga mata mo fia whawhelo i atu paia, man malu Samoa tupu mai, tātou whailoa i le nei tae au, vi ia le tua. Ai le amatalia tātou pokalame, o te wala au atu ma le ngang whaaloalo, le sunga i a pasta se manu, ia mo tātou talo pupu. Mata ai lor tātou pokalame ma le ngang whaaloalo.
O le sini o le tausanga le nei o le lau whātasi ma le tua le whātua. No better topic than selling with faith, right? So with faith in God. Mātou whātairo mātou tua i nei putai au. O mātou sira wha i le manuia mai lau o whio. Furi whao wa o malau, furi a ewa o manu. Ono fōra o loka malau o maile. O le nei aso nei whai e mātou te fia ma o le mātou tālo i le ie le nei aso. Ia pe sosoani mai lo o nganga. O lau o whio e awala mai e le potu. Wai mai le poto ma le tamai e la tau lo mātou tua. A wale o penga i te whao ngai na wale mana. Ele ngate tonu a inga Samoa. Aro o tunu. Anga le me kuri pamasino e me se poi. Ila tōro whakunana tapuai. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for your goodness this morning. And we want to praise you for salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. We pray that you will bless this project that we're going through today. Give us wisdom, Lord, and pray that you would guide us to the end through Jesus' precious holy name. Amen.
Ia whaftai atu lau sunga i whengainga. Just one more announcement, wha mole mole. You can use your camera, but please, no, just turn off your you can use your camera, but just put it into silence. Wha mole mole, malenganga whaaloalo. I would like now call upon Jerry Brunt to start our program. Ia lau whionga le ataua, mole amatalia tātou pokalame, malenganga whaaloalo.
I'm glad you got it right the second time. And I feel like the male contestant, my name is Jerry Brunt. There's no Chan now. Well, it's been a while since we all gathered and have some lovely contestants, and I think the last time was 2019. And 2 years later, we're here again at the lovely Taumesina. This is where we also had the last pre-pageant interview at. So for Tailava, Tuatanga, and team here at Taumesina Island Resort for allowing us to
make a mess of your facility. So Fatai Lava. Um, Today it's not about any of us. It's about eight lovely contestants who are vying for the title of Miss Samoa. This year, we are again very, very grateful and honored to have on board as our naming sponsor, Vodafone. Vodafone Samoa is our naming sponsor. So the pageant this year is known as Vodafone Samoa Miss Samoa Pageant. Vodafone Miss Samoa Pageant this year. I think I'm going to run through the sponsors quickly because I think this is probably the only opportunity that I will have during pre-pageant interview, and then we will get into the groups. So our naming sponsor, as I had already made known, is Vodafone Samoa. We've got Ford Hyundai, the better choice. They have kindly given us a brand new electric 2022 Hyundai vehicle for a girl to use throughout her 12 months reign with all the services and everything. That vehicle is valued at 169,000 tala. So whoever of you lovely eight contestants, you'll be one lucky to be driving away on Sunday if you can produce me with your driver's license. We've got Taula Beverages as our official and exclusive beverage sponsor. Orita Hotel, who we all use and abuse down there on that side for anything. Thank you. TV1 Samoa has the exclusive right to telecast and for media. And this is, I think, probably the 6th year that we've done this with TV1. So Faftai TV1, our Pageant Bank South Pacific, Taumasina Island Resort, Ebeni Pacific, Beata Salon, Jackie's Beauty Creations, Salute Florist. We've got Vanu Studios, Oski Boys, Tia's Boutique, Alpha Alu, Jada Salon, and Litapo Manaya. I always forget the official name our light boys go under because today it's Dice, tomorrow it's Johannes. But we've got Dice here from our light boys. Now, I want to also make mention of our contestant sponsors because without you, none of these 8 girls would have the courage and the financial means to participate. So, in no particular order, our contestant sponsors, we've got SAB, Samoa Watasi for Miss Samoa Los Angeles or LA. We've got Miss Samoa Performing Arts and Creative Excellence, we refer to as SPACE. We've got Miss Samoa New Zealand, Miss Samoa Melbourne Incorporated, Miss Samoa Victoria Incorporated, Miss Samoa New South Wales Incorporated, and Miss Princess Mariana Publishing. Those are the 8 contestant sponsors. If I have missed anyone, please let me know. I can always go back to any time morning. I haven't slept. So now we're gonna get into before I introduce the judges and our scrutineers, housekeeping. I know I've already touched on this with you, ladies. Your pre-pageant presentation, you've already drawn out the topic. You have 4 minutes. 4 minutes to speak on your topic. also told you what not to say. I will be introducing you so that you will get straight into your topic and use your 4 minutes. Lights, our scrutiny is earlier and we got our light. Remember, it's just like traffic light, green, go. Yellow means you have 15 seconds. Used to be 10, 15. 15 for you to gradually dive down and end before the red light. Red means you've already lost 1 point. It's 1 to 10 seconds or part thereof. So for every 10 seconds or part thereof, you lose 1 point. Okay? Don't want to see that. Don't want to see the scrutineers deducting any point. So please take note of our time. Now, our judges, our very, very beautiful judges who have been tasked with this very, very easy and simple task, who I very much envy. And I'll start from the far, that's my right, it's your left. We have Tosi Tupua. Now, Tosi is a well-known face, and I think it really requires very little introduction of any sort. But Tosi has always been there to help the pageant, and we are grateful to have you, Tosi, in this year. Tosi is a lawyer by profession, and he is currently the news director of KVCK TV in American Samoa. KVCK News. So please put your hands together for that. Next to Tosi, we have Tuifatisina Maria Lafaele. Born and bred in Samoa, and then she ran away to New Zealand, where there was apparently milk and honey. Well, she did find. Tuifatisina Maria Lafaele is a former student of St. Mary's College. And I'm not going to go into all the other stuff that she has provided, other than saying congratulations for being appointed the Pacific Health Director for the Northern Region Health Coordination Center in Auckland, New Zealand. Next to Tuifatisina, we have Taitu'uma Marianne Lameko Bai. She's also your head judge for the main pageant judges. If I may use Marianne, Marianne is now the general manager of offshore branches come January in the new year of PSB Bank Financial Group Limited. He was or is the outgoing country manager of PSB Bank, and someone that has over 20 years in leadership, finance, accounting, auditing, investment, and banking. So please welcome. Then we have Leituala Pinselani Betano. Again, another person that really requires little introduction. She is the former Chief Executive Officer for the Ministry of Women, Community and Social Development for quite some time. And then she left for regional, and she is currently the Regional Director for Polynesia, leading the establishment of the Polynesian Sub-Regional Office for SPC, based in Fiji. Please welcome Leitwa. And then we've got this guy, Tuyatanga Nathan Bakmo. You all seen this gentleman running around here, making himself look like he's one of the maintenance staff, one of the general staff here at Taumesina. Well, Nathan is the general manager of Taumesina Island Resort since 2015, so he's been here that long. He's originally from Perth, Western Australia, but we managed to localize him by giving him the chiefly title to Yakama from the village of Mota. Please welcome Yakama. Now, those are your 5 main pageant judges that will be tasked with judging today's pre-pageant interview presentation. We've got our scrutineers. I need to introduce them. In the middle, we have Charlene McFarlane Sua. She is the head scrutineer for this year. A chartered accountant by profession and a member of the Samoa Institute of Accountants. She is the director or one of the directors of Suba and Associates Incorporated Public Accountants in Samoa. Please welcome Charlene. Our second scrutineer, also of equal seniority. Remember, we had Alice Newmata Leota as our head scrutineer in 2019. Alice is a partner at Isitolo Leota Chartered Accounting Firm and is a member of CPA Australia and Samoa Institute of Accountants with over 15 years of experience in auditing and accounting. Please welcome Alice. Those are your working panel of judges and scrutineers for today. I'm only standing in for the 2 hosts that are still working. I'm not your host, and I am not your surprise that I had mentioned earlier. If you guys recall, when you asked who is the host. Sorry, I'm not your surprise host. But I'm standing in for them. So, without further ado, we will invite the ladies following your order of appearance. You have 4 minutes to present. And then each of you will get 1 question from at least from 3 judges only, and they will rotate. You get that? So, and in no particular order, I think the panel of judges have organized themselves who is going to be the first, and then we will do it from there. 3 questions. Relax and enjoy. Wish you all the best. So, Kamun Mole, keep your hands together. Miss Samoa, New South Wales. Miss Samoa, New South Wales. Let me just do this. And I thought I had everything down here. Hey, Miss Samoa, New South Wales is Valentine or Valentine? Valentine Tanya Tamo. She's 21 years of age. I was born in Sydney, Australia. She's from the villages of Sapapali, Salepanga, Satawa, and Mainganga. She's currently working as a supervisor, and she loves dancing, singing, cultural learning, and baking. Please welcome Miss Samoa, New South Wales, who will be talking or speaking on the topic of tourism. Miss Samoa, New South Wales.
Talofa lava, honorable judges, beautiful contestants, and guests. One of the key components of tourism is hospitality. As Samoans, this is second nature to us. We are taught from a very young age to serve our family and community, whether that be making tea for Nana and Papa, cooking for our household, waking up at 5 a.m. to make the umu, or help decorate the church. At the root of our culture is service. That is why hospitality comes so naturally to us. The last 3 years has proven to be one of the biggest challenges for the tourism industry, not only in Samoa, but worldwide. Many of our friends, families, and visitors had to say goodbye to our beloved Samoa during our border closures with uncertainties when we might reunite again. Although our tourism and hospitality industry suffered losses during that time, we were able to pivot and adapt in order to survive. Our local businesses and communities showcased resilience and innovation during a time when the entire world was struggling to get by. What we learned from that difficult time is that we already have what we need to redefine tourism in a post-pandemic world. For the first time, our tourism industry depended on the domestic markets to keep them afloat, which taught us that going back to the basics of taking care of our people and sharing our natural-born hospitality will ultimately improve our service to future visitors and tourists. We only need to look back at the lockdowns for inspiration in innovation. Businesses started selling umu packages for Sunday to Onai. Local bands provided entertainment for hotels and night markets. Businesses started to diversify their product offerings and services. We started taking care of our local industry, and by extension, it has also made us kinder. Connect to one another and understand that we are all trying to survive this pandemic together. The face of tourism has changed all over the world. People who experienced the isolation of lockdowns are now seeking travel experiences that connect them to nature, culture, adventure, and people. What better place to do that than our beautiful Samoa Belina? You can find white sandy beaches and poolside cocktails all over the world, but what sets us aside from other tourist destinations is our people and our culture. A uniqueness that you will not find in any other country around the world. I believe the success of our tourism sector lies in amplifying what already exists and showcasing the best of who we are. Everyone has a part to play in that success, from the small whaleola to the hard-working STA, reviving our tourism industry. Now all we need is for the airlines to come on board and offer some more affordable airfares. Our future will be drawn to Samoa. Our future visitors will be drawn to Samoa because of who we are and what we value. Our biggest assets are our people and our culture. A people that has shown resilience during a 3-year pandemic and come out the other side with a smile. A people who ran an election during the pandemic and elected their first ever woman prime minister. A people who never wavered in their faith of God, no matter how difficult the circumstance. And a culture that respects their elders, shows humility, and is rooted in love and service. Tautua nei, mosoma nuia moa taiao. Serve now for a better tomorrow. This is what we have to offer to the world and more. It is safe to say the future of Samoan tourism is bright and full of hope. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful never left.
Judges, this is where I invite whoever of you to start.
Testing. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Congratulations, Ms. Samoa and New South Wales. Thank you for your views this morning on tourism. So my question is, you are the Miss Samoa, and in your travels you meet a businessman or a businesswoman who has never been to Samoa. In a short paragraph, how would you sell Samoa as a destination post-COVID-19? Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
You're Miss Samoa, and on your travels, you meet a businesswoman or a businessman who has never been to Samoa. How would you sell Samoa as a tourism destination post-COVID-19?
How would I sell Samoa?
as a destination, tourism?
First of all, like I've said, what we already have, our traditions, our culture, our people. I will share with him how beautiful Samoa is, our hospitality. Not only do we have amazing hotels like Taumesina and Orita, our hospitality within our people, our community, our food, our culture and traditions. For example, showcasing our Siva Samoa and Siva Afi and all the beautiful sceneries. And not only that, just I wanted to express more on how beautiful our people are.
Thank you, Ms. Samoa, New South Wales, for your presentation. My question is, if selected Ms. Samoa, what would be one thing that you would champion to support recovery in the tourism sector, and how would you do that?
In my speech, I also spoke about flights. So I would definitely work tirelessly and closely with the government and the STA to make the flights more affordable. So we can bring our families, not only families, tourists and visitors back home, so we can be able to showcase to the world how beautiful our Samoa is. So I'll definitely work on flights.
Thank you, Ms. Samoa, New South Wales. How would you, given that you're Miss Samoa, how would you teach the importance or help the grassroots people in Samoa, the villages, maybe the villages in Sabai, the villages on the south coast? How do you help them to understand the importance of tourism here in Samoa? Because whilst us who work in the industry understand the importance, not everyone understands the importance of tourism. I mean, it took us a long time to open borders because nobody really grasped how important tourism was. So how do you get the grassroots people to understand the importance and relevance of tourism here in Samoa? How do you get the grassroots people, I guess the people who aren't involved in the tourism industry to understand the importance of tourism here in Samoa on our economy and on our country as a whole?
In my speech, I mentioned we all need to work together. So, like I said, from the small Paleoloa down the street to the STA working hard, we all need to come together as a community, Samoan community, and we need the STA to implement more programs as they already have, but we need more programs to upskill our people to learn more about tourism here in Samoa.
Thank you, Ms. Samoa, New South Wales. Thank you, Valentine. Our next contestant is contestant number 2, Miss Sam. Glorietta Latafale Fuimaono. She's a 23-year-old graduate from BYU, Hawaii. She was born, raised in Samoa until she traveled to Hawaii for further education. She is the Senior Researcher and Procurement Officer for SAB, the #1 store. It's simply the best. And Glorietta loves dancing, singing, reading. She plays sports, a lot of sports, and hiking. Please welcome contestant number 2, Ms. Seth, who will be speaking on the topic of politics. Your topic today is politics.
Milling. Batia. Yeah, that's a good exercise because everyone's about to sleep. Hey. Honorable judges and distinguished guests. Talofa lava. My topic for today is politics. Politics is no question a complex topic. So I have decided to share with you my thoughts of what politics means to me as a young Tamaitai Samoa, as I am determined to make a difference in my community, my church, and my Samoa Beleina. For me, the political participation of women and girls is about, first, being active in our communities. Second, participate at all levels. Third, well educated. And lastly, have a voice in decision making. Samoa has achieved significant milestones in the advancement of women in the last 60 years. I stand proud to speak to you today as I have witnessed in my lifetime the first ever female Prime Minister of Samoa, Honorable Fiame Naomi Mataafa. Her political journey is an inspiration for young Tamaitai like me. Why? If she can do it, all women, all us women can do it. Amen. We have seen the increase of women leaders in our country. Today, we have 7 women MPs, 16 female CEOs in the government, and an increasing number of female board of directors. This proves so, with this stellar record, why can't we have many women leaders in the government? So you see, it has not been a smooth journey for women to enter politics, as there have been so many challenges because politics is a boys' club. Am I right? So, yeah. It is dominated by men. To enter parliament is to be a Matai, and some villages do not allow women to be Matai. Already, it is a barrier for women to enter politics. As a young Tamaitai, how can we increase women representation in parliament? 1, seek God first. I am a strong believer and I honor God. I believe that our women should seek God first and God will open doors for them. Amen? Amen. 2, we can lobby to change the law by increasing the percentage of the quota system of the minimum of 10% representing of women in parliament. 3, develop and groom young and inspiring women leaders to have a voice in decision-making with the hope that these leaders will enter in politics. In closing, the political participation of women is fundamental. When you empower a woman, you empower her home, you empower her family, you empower her village, and her whole nation. A woman's voice in politics can move mountains. And that is why we need stronger representation of women in parliament. Fafetai lava, manuia, and God bless.
Sito mas patina per tai. No ya to cha to contestants ele fai no fia po to ta fa yoi. Mi se nai to te
tanga i mai le nei mo te baba i atu ale ese o foi fōninga i tōne o mātou ele se me whai mo fie. Malofa, time is sad. You touched two parliamentarians who are female, though we have our first female prime minister. My question is, what would you tell young girls today who aspire to lead and contribute to their communities in the future? Would you like me to repeat that question?
Yes,
Yeah,
please, Tosi.
sure. What would you tell young girls who are watching this broadcast tonight? What would you tell them? What would you tell the young girls who are watching this tonight who aspire to lead and contribute to their communities in the future? Well, as if out there, what you fight, yeah, I may so no way. Why so I told a lava tell you, oh, buying a tower, low for the sun of the entire.
Tyler Fafsi. Yeah. As I mentioned in my speech, the first thing that I encourage young ladies
Lava, your depth, knowledge, and your passion that came through this morning, sharing your topic on politics. Politics is quite dear to me because I've got I did majoring in politics in university. Anyway, women's empowerment and promotion of women's rights have emerged as a part of the major global movement, and as you see as well, thank you for sharing, Jacinta as well, our amazing Prime Minister in New Zealand. So how has the election of our first female Prime Minister of Samoa held an impact on you?
The question is how?
How has the election of Lafio of Apito has an impact on you personally?
Thank you. Tusi Fasisila. I'm sorry. Tui Fasisila. I'm so sorry. To answer your question, personally, since I was in Hawaii at that time for schooling and work, then when I saw Honorable Fiome Naomi Mata'afa being the first ever elected woman to be Prime Minister of Samoa, I was proud because I'm a woman and she represents our gender. No bias. And like she's confident and she has the she has that tama'ali'i attitude, and it inspired me to be, not to be like her, but to be just like the personality, behaviors that she has. And she's very confident, she's knowledgeable, and she's compassionate with the things in her services and the things she's done for our country, which I am blessed. Afatai lava.
Thank you, Ms. Sab, for your deliberations this morning. My question is very simple. You're Miss Samoa, and you have one opportunity to meet with the Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Fiame Naomi Ta'afa. What would be one key thing that you will talk to her about, advocate to government on how to empower young women like yourself?
Can you repeat the question, please?
If you have an audience, the opportunity to meet with the Prime Minister, the Honourable Fiame Naomi Mata'afa, what would be one thing that you would talk to her about to advocate for the empowerment of young women such as yourself?
Thank you so much, Taitu'unga. If I happen to meet the Honorable Fiame Naomi Mata'afa, the first thing I would ask her, is for stronger representation of women in politics. Because, as I mentioned in my speech, there's only 10% of women in politics. So I wanted to be the voice of women, so that our nation can hear our voice and what we have done for our country. There are a lot of unpaid works that we have done that are not recognized, and I want Honorable Fiame Naomi Mata'afa, so sorry, to discuss on that topic, because it's very important to me, as I am running for this platform, so it kind of represents that part. Thank you so much. Aftailava. Sorry.
Chance to get again from this. Our next contestant is contestant number 3. Contestant number 3 is Miss Samoa, New Zealand. Shillong Luanga Philippi, 22 years of age, born in New Zealand, but from the villages of Siumu, Matau, to Lefanga, Sanapu, Salepanga, Salamuan Babai. So she spans from one side to the other side. Currently working for a preschool as an admin support, and currently studying a Bachelor of Communication Studies in New Zealand. Miss Samoa, New Zealand, her topic today is culture.
Sorry.
Good morning. The importance of our Samoan cultural values in the changing world and the digital age. O Samoa le atunu tofi, o le atunu mautu o na whaawai, o whaawai I le atua. O na paia mo na mamalu, e le mawhai o na skuia e se tasi. O paia e tu mau I le vavau, e o I le whaavavau. E le toi tau whamatala ina tūlanga o le anganu o Samoa, I o na tū maanga o tātou māsani ai. The pillars and values of our Anganu Samoa are those of love, respect, and service. In this day and age of the fast-paced transition from analog to digital, the constantly shifting and at times unforgiving algorithm of social media, we must ask ourselves a critical question. Where do our values sit in this ever-changing landscape? Is it really necessary for us to carry our analog-based values into the developing digital world? E ai ea se tāua o a tātū maanga wha Samoa, le whaaloalo, le alofa, ma le tautua, I suinga fōwha te konolosi wanga I atuai le soifuanga. O le maua le tautalanga wha tauwai le nei tai au, I oe Samoa e tāua te le lava. TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Live, all of these platforms and services have been key timestamps on the never-ending journey into the digital space. Dominating these spaces are our very own Samoan people, whether they be celebrities, activists, political organizations, or your auntie from across the way. Our people have adapted accordingly to the technological advancements over the years. However, with these adaptations, we have witnessed some shocking and sometimes very upsetting sights. At the height of the political tensions in Samoa last year, we saw many of our people take to social media to share their perspectives on the elections and opposing parties. We began to see opinions and emotions crossing our cultural boundaries with little adherence to our core Samoan values. Strong language and a blatant lack of respect was a common occurrence in the comments sections. Nowadays on TikTok, it is very common to come across our own people fighting each other in videos and comments over the most insignificant. Friends get involved, family, villages get involved, and at the end of the day, the optic is, ai fōiungi ni Samoa. O se anga masa ni lea le tatu atu nuu. How has it become so easy to forget who we are as people once we enter the digital space? Can we truly say to ourselves that we would interact the same way online in real life? Ile nei tai au Samoa, ele ea vele nei avano whaauro, e toi valuvalu sia ia au le whau. Ia te oilo atunu Samoa e peleina. Awa nei whangaloina o tātū maanga, a o fo laulo tā sai le lumanai, o suinga faufa a tika losi whaona pō nei. E ilole Samoa I lona tū, Sautala, malona savali. It is just the same for us online. E ilole speak with love and respect, and let all our actions be of service to our people and our country. Let us not lose sight of ourselves and who we are in the roaring waves of the digital moana. Instead, let us use this newfound landscape of knowledge and technology to further spread our core values of love, respect, and service to everyone we meet and in everything that we do. Upo le atunuu, o Samoa le maotau tau ave. Just as we have carried ourselves as Samoans and our culture to foreign lands and shores, let us too carry the same maota and values to the digital shores that we currently occupy and look to occupy in the future that is now at our doorstep. Whaftai lava.
Whaftai lava, Miss New Zealand, for your views this morning. E iai upuma sani ala tulu o te tuinga ai tu maulu whaapai. So my question is, with the influence of the digital age that you have spoken about, how would you ensure that our young ones and our future generation will never lose our cultural values in this digital age?
Social media is an asset. Technology is growing, as we know. To ensure that our people, especially our young children, take hold of our culture, in a holistic approach, working collaboratively with networks and with our people in local businesses and those in technological spaces to really promote the advantages of social media, to really teach our people how to use social media, the benefits of it. Also, implementing technology and social media into schools to early educate our children on what to expect. And sometimes so early educating our children on the use of social media, as well as using it in schools. That way we can work closely with the schools to promote programs that outside people can also see how important our culture is. So we can do dance classes and promote that online. We can do Samoa classes within our schools, promote that online. It not only helps our people here, it helps our people abroad, killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah, but Tailava Miss Samoa New Zealand Molau for Sanga Manino Manmatangofie. Here's a very famous reference that you probably would have heard of by the late Professor Aiono Dr. Fanafi Aiono Litangalo. That's often quoted, and I quote, Aleise ngana, oleise nganu. Aleite nganu, ona po ai leo le nuku. If there is no language, then there is no culture. If there is no culture, then the village will be in darkness, meaning we won't know who we are anymore. In your view, what's the significance of that reference for you and for young people growing up?
Thank you, Letuala, for the question. This question is very important. As you said, this alanga upu we are very well known for. The importance of our culture. It is our whasinumanga. It is part of our identity. The specific alanga upu hits home because for me, I think it starts young, that we should start learning from our elders, taking in the teachings from our grandparents, learning how to sew, learning your va whialua'i, learning where you stand when you do a fa'alavilavi. These things put together, they make up our culture, they make up our manu'u. And if we don't know these things, we can't pass this on to our next generations. This is very important because we do not want to be in darkness. Samoa is paradise, Samoa is light. We want to keep Samoa up. So learning from our elders, from our ancestors, keeping our culture alive in this generation would ensure us to be able to pass it on to the next so that we are not in darkness.
Thank you, Ms. New Zealand. So you've touched on the digital space in regards to what we saw earlier on with politics and some negative aspects. How would you turn that digital space around and use that digital space to actually preserve the good qualities of Samoa's culture?
Thank you, Nathan, for the question. As I said, the digital space is growing. It's an asset. If we take hold of this digital space, our Samoa is so beautiful. We have so much to offer the world, but it's only within our horizon. Only we see that. So, as I said, utilizing these social platforms such as Instagram and Facebook, really getting our people involved as well. Vanu Studios, I've seen they've been getting our women involved in some of their videos, hearing the music. It really reaches people fast. It's faster than word of mouth. So really utilizing this technology to showcase our different aspects of culture and using it, during live streams in church, during our programs such as the Miss Samoa Pageant, it really reaches and broadens our horizon. And I think it really, takes our culture elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Samoa, New Zealand. Please give another hand. Our next contestant is contestant number 4, who is, and forgive me if I get your name wrong, Rose Delaren Odayo, Ever Leilani Brown. Doesn't matter. Contestant number 4, Ms. Princess Mariana Papashi. It's a 24-year-old young lady from the villages of Vawala, Lutofanga, and Nalubaya. She is an entrepreneur that's what she does in Australia. But she is currently, she holds a Bachelor of Performing Arts and loves dancing, music, cooking, sports, meditating, journaling, and gaming outdoors. Miss Princess Mariana Publishing will be speaking on climate change. Please welcome. Miss Princess Mariana Publishing.
The moment we paused, the earth was able to breathe again. The wise words of the inspiration that is David Attenborough in a 2021 documentary about the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on nature. Climate change. Earth found its rhythm when we came to a stop, which is a vivid example of how we continue to ignore the cries of Mother Nature until she sends a deadly virus to teach us a lesson. Samoa, along with all the Pacific Islands, are most at risk, but we can only do so much to help solve this ongoing crisis. Samoa has taken action to ban plastic use, planted 2 million plus trees, and have plans to participate in this year's International Coastal Cleanup Day on the 17th of September, and I expect to see you all there. However, the biggest contributors to climate change, the bigger and wealthier countries are. As we face the ugly and unfair reality of climate change, bigger countries thrive and make obscene amounts of money at our expense. We are continuously fed empty promises that change is coming, yet we are still suffering horrible consequences, and that must change. As the proverb goes, e pala ma'a ai le pala upu. This proverb spoke volumes when our very own Samoa Tamaitai and climate warrior Brianna Fruin represented and spoke on our behalf at the COP26, a global climate summit including 197 countries from all over the world that agreed to a new environmental pact. I'd like to highlight what an inspiring young woman Ms. Fruin is, a blissful reminder that each and every one in this room has the power to craft the necessary changes when we become more vocal to fight. We are not drowning, we are fighting. Going back to Attenborough's documentary, The Year Earth Changed, the examples of being environmentally conscious is significant. During the pandemic lockdown, Los Angeles experienced their best air quality in 40 years. China's levels of toxic gases in their atmosphere decreased by up to 50%. And in India, a country that suffers from some of the most brutal pollutions in the world, were able to see the Himalayas, the highest mountain range on Earth, for the first time in their lives as the pollution lifted. I raise these points to highlight that when there is less carbon footprint, the Earth will naturally produce more life. 2 weeks ago, I had the most amazing opportunities to spend a weekend in Whanganui. I had learned that my grandparents would visit Whanganui to pick up some mula, some lobsters, but was quickly saddened when one of Whanganui's locals informed me that the coral reef in Whanganui now are completely dead. And there's nothing left to fish due to warmer waters and dynamite poisoning, which they had believed was an easier method to catch fish. To think that there was a time that sea life flourished and now completely destroyed is further proof that climate change is indeed real. We all know to use water wisely, to save energy, to walk to nearby locations without using our vehicles, and to recycle, but the effects of climate change is still at our doorstep. We must be more vocal and demand that the countries who can and claim to want to help the Pacific actually put their words into action. When we heal the earth, we heal ourselves. Climate change has a significantly negative impact on our livelihoods and especially our health. For example, bronchitis due to viruses in the air, or typhoid diseases due to water pollution. I conclude my presentation by encouraging all our young and wise women and men to stay grounded and continue to act on making a difference. Be bold, be courageous, and fight for our Pacific. We owe it to our children to keep fighting so that they may too experience the beauty of the Pacific. If we choose, we can transform the health of our planet. Montamo Belena.
Malo, faftai, si tu mas pati te. I can actually see your passion. Ta upu nei, malo faftai le matalai, bang ta u fapea. Macai ko tufanga, malo, I understand balance, yep, to umana tas. Well, silly. My question is, climate change is affecting the global community. As you mentioned, here in Samoa, we face rising sea levels, extreme weather conditions, and unpredictable change in seasons. The question is for you, how would you help increase awareness as well as promote practical change for the future of our people? I'll repeat that. How would you help increase awareness as well as promote practical change for the future of our people? Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like we already have programs set in Samoa. I've been told verbally that there are youth programs and ministries that pick up rubbish from the end of Milinu'u to the end of Apia, which is something very practical. I think something educational programs is just speaking and continuing to educate people on the consequences and effects of climate change.
After Lava, and thank you for your speech this morning. So we have been very, very blessed, I think, Samoa, with our climate activist, like you mentioned, Brianna Fruin. And there's a whole movement from our young people in that space. And it's so amazing to see that, who are delivering messages around the region and global. So as a Miss Samoa, how will you ensure our voice for climate action is heard?
Could you please rephrase your question?
So as a Miss Samoa, how will you ensure our voice of people of Samoa for climate action is heard?
I would just continue to be more vocal. I feel like united we stand, divided we fall. If we all use our voices and stand together, I feel like the world will listen. They'll have to. Because if the Pacific Islands go down, the rest of the world go down.
Thank you very much. That was a beautiful presentation. My question for you today is, we know the what, we know the why, we know the who, and to an extent, we know the how. But as Miss Samoa, if you win this pageant, how would you personally bring the message the beautiful message that you just shared with us today, how would you bring that home to our people right here in Samoa?
I would act on my words. I feel like actions speak louder than words, and I feel like right now you listen to me speak about wanting to do this and do that, and through my service to Samoa, I feel like that is a great example for all Samoans to hop along on the trend to save our planet.
Thank you, Miss Princess Mariana Publishing. Please, go ahead and applause. Our next contestant is Miss Samoa Victoria. Miss Samoa Victoria is contestant number 5. Olivia Grace Unasasiosi is a 20-year-old, born in Melbourne, Australia. She's from the villages of Solosolo, Manunu, Siufanga, all the way in Safulis, Hawaii. She's currently studying health science and nursing at Hope University. And she loves singing and writing music and skating well. Miss Samoa Victoria will be speaking today on the topic of agriculture. Please welcome Miss Samoa Victoria.
Agriculture is the practice of farming our lands to produce food for people. Agriculture is our future. Why is agriculture our future? During the pandemic, businesses could not survive against the impacts of COVID. However, one sector remained strong: agriculture. Why is this? I believe there are many reasons. However, I will address sustainability, what is currently being done, and some things that can be done. Agriculture is sustainable. We saw from lockdown overseas, this was Samoa's one area that continued to thrive. Not only did it continue to provide a source of income for our people by selling their goods at our markets, we also saw the government push for exportation of our produce to overseas markets. This also benefited our people health-wise. Our people went back to farming, meaning back to physical work, which also meant they were consuming wholesome and nutritious food. Agriculture is sustainable. We can do this. We have been doing this. Together, we can. Our forefathers had the vision. They knew this was one way of survival. Evidence of this is found in our original coins, where our lua sene was koko, lima senge was fala, sefulu senge was taro, lua sefulu senge was ulu, and lima sefulu senge was fa'i. Our forefathers knew this was our way of survival, highlighting that agriculture is our country's wealth. The future depends on the sustainable work that we do today. What is currently being done? What programs are there here in Samoa that could assist our people? SAFPROM, Samoa Agriculture and Fisheries, Productivity and Marketing, which is a workshop that encourages families to work their land. It is a great example of how agriculture influences the health of our people. Nowadays, it is very easy for people to turn to produce food. But Tama Lungoi, who participated in the SAFPROM program, is the perfect role model, showcasing the advantages of growing your own food. Lungoi encourages his grandkids to work the farm, assisting in reproducing fresh food, which he quotes, "Personally, I feel fuller and more energized with a higher diet of vegetables. I used to indulge in a lot of meat and feel very tired. Vegetables are high in nutrition value." Longoi and his family not only achieved a healthier eating lifestyle, but working the farm also allowed them to improve on their physical health and well-being. Agriculture is the future of Samoa because it opens pathways for income for our people, opportunities for employment, and it also contributes to our ecotourism. Not all tourists come just to lay on the sandy beaches. Tourists also love Samoa's ecotourism. For example, ecotourism can revitalize local culture and customs, things like making an umu in our villages, showcasing how we use our organic produce for everyday life. Agriculture has always been a vital part of Samoa's economy. Times have changed. We can acknowledge that. We've seen that what pandemics can do. Let's take this as a reminder from our forefathers to revive our ancestral ways of life. We survived then, we survive now, by reverting to our roots. Agriculture will always play a big part in Samoa's economy. Emotion is what drives Samoa. Our practices are very relevant today. Samoa Peleina, agriculture is our future.
Miss Samoa Victoria. My question goes something like this. Agriculture is a key sector of our economy, and indeed, agriculture is our future, as you said. But it's also a field that's not as attractive to many young people. Now, the question, but you talked about sustainability, you also talked about opening pathways for our people. So the question then is, as a young woman or as an ambassador for Samoa, how would you encourage young people to take up agriculture as a field of choice towards ensuring sustainability and towards opening pathways for our young people?
So, a way to encourage our young youth to really learn and have the passion for agriculture. You're right, not a lot of our youth have the passion for agriculture, but it is very important. And as I said, agriculture is the wealth of our country. So in order to encourage our youth, we have to really input and emphasize programs to encourage them on the importance of planting and reproducing our fresh food, because like how we went through COVID, our agriculture is really what kept us alive and what drove our people to go back to the lands. So really emphasizing that to our younger generation would really encourage them on how to stay ready for other pandemics or epidemics in the future.
After Lava, Miss Samoa, Victoria. Just with agriculture, just to, I guess, to tie in tourism, obviously, because I'm very interested in tourism. There's a lot of hype around agro-tourism. In your mind, what is agro-tourism and why is it so good?
Agritourism, so that ties back to agriculture, really in attracting our outside people to what we have to provide, which is so much. So tourism, a lot of our tourists love our coconuts, which we sell all the time in our markets, but there are 2 villages that actually went through a crisis with coconuts, and the Ministry of Agriculture were able to provide 500 seedlings of coconuts to replant and reproduce. So to be able to really sustain our lands would really attract the tourists in, because our coconuts, they're the best here in Samoa, and we just have so much to give to tourists. Thank you.
I feel like I'm talking a lot today and asking a lot of questions today, but that's the negative thing of sitting in the middle. So apologies, you'll have to bear with me. As you mentioned, agriculture is the future, but this industry for our island in Samoa and also the Pacific is also exposed to natural disasters and the many plagues that come from overseas. And this has always been a blockage to the development of agriculture. So as a young person, what do you think we need to do more of to ensure that we are protecting this very important industry?
Thank you for the question. So what we have to do more of, in my opinion, is continuing to work in unity and together as one in a community. So the Ministry of Agriculture, there are many workshops where we actually involve our people to go out and do these works to enable to sustain our lands and help during these natural disasters. There is also a group of wonderful women who I am very prideful of, because of course it is a women-driven association, the Samoan Women Association of Growers. So they go out there and they actually help sustain the lands and grow our produce. So one thing that I would really encourage is to continue to work in unity, which Samoa is already very great. Thank you very much.
Oh, I thought this were. There goes my turn. Thank you very much, Ms. Samoa Victoria, for that. Please give Ms. Samoa Victoria. Our next contestant is contestant number 9, Ms. Samoa, Performing Arts and Creative. Sorry, contestant number 6. Line 6 just went upside down. Turn around. Ms. Samoa, Performing Arts and Creative Excellence is contestant number 6. Miss Samoa, Performing Arts and Creative Excellence is Toda. Sorry, Toda, I have abbreviated or shortened your name. Toda Enyata, 23 years old. She is from the many other villages, but where she's living at right now is Vaitelitai. She is a retail executive, currently attending University of the South Pacific. She loves dancing, sports, and spending quality time with family and friends. Miss Samoa, Performing Arts and Creative Excellence, or your contestant number 6, will be speaking on health. Her topic today is please welcome.
Before I start, I would like to excuse myself and my voice. I'm still dealing with the flu. Health. The world's fattest people, the Pacific Islands. Today, no offense. Today, I have chosen to focus on non-communicable diseases in which most households in Samoa think lightly of. These are some of the major examples of NCDs in Samoa: heart disease, diabetes, obesity, airway disease, cancer of all kinds, and mental health. Why is NCD important? In other words, why should we bother care for NCDs? In 2020, it was recorded by the World Health Organization that 7 out of 10 deaths in any developing country belongs to the NCD alone. We are now at 2022 and it's still increasing. How crazy is that? NCDs are also considered as burden diseases, whereas 40% of the national health budget is spent on NCD every year alone. And these are the 3 main causes for NCDs in Samoa. 1, structural factors. 2, behavioral risk factors. And 3, genetics. For structural factors, these are the factors outside health sector, which includes 4 main factors that contribute to the NCD emergence. 1, socioeconomic status of people and country, which refers to the different level of society, wage, and wealth. 2, changing society norms, which refers to some of the behaviors from the past years slightly changing throughout the years. Example, a few years back, you hardly see any women smoking tobacco in public. Right now, you can see them almost anywhere. Thirdly, under structural factors is globalization. This is a global issue where the World Trade Organization takes part too. For example, the WTO are not able to control the imports of goods that contains sugary, salty, and fatty ingredients to our countries, and they are basically allowing the trade from country to country almost for free. Lastly, under structural factors are an unplanned urbanization, refers to where we're building our new cities and towns with barely any footpaths, which can cause accidents. Second major causes of NCD are behavior risk factors. This refers to the range of actions and mannerisms by individuals which our health department is trying to control. They have narrowed it down to an easy acronym which will be easier for them to promote what they're promoting. SNAP. I know you've heard of that. S, smoking tobacco. N, for nutrition or unhealthy diets. A, for alcohol consumption. And P, physical activity. So these are the most important behaviors that our health department is currently working on to reduce. And lastly, for the last causes for NCD are genetics. We can't change our genes. It just comes to us naturally. It can be carried from generation to generation, and we don't have a choice but to live with it. So, how can we prevent NCDs? We can try and convince our government to convince the WTO to ease the imports of unhealthy foods.
We need to urge our people to reconnect with our traditional foods, which are more better and healthier for us. Lastly, this is where performing arts comes in. To drive awareness, push for improvements, deliver a message in a form of dance, music, poetry. Because from what I know, not everyone can learn from writing on a piece of paper, learn from a blackboard. Some of us may get the message quick and clearly through our dances and our music. I have also come to learn that performing arts can be helpful as exercise for people with chronic heart diseases with necessary aerobic exercises. In this way, we can learn better ways to prevent NTDs in Samoa for the betterment of our people, our environment, and our Pacific Islands. Wetailawa.
Hello, time is space. Thank you very much. It's a very important topic you spoke about. I think if we go back to COVID, I think most of the people that we lost during the COVID pandemic were those with severe comorbidities, and you hit that right there. And you've also mentioned something about the report from the WHO, and I think I also read that particular report. And if I'm paraphrasing here, it says that food in Samoa is plenty, but poor nutrition undermines good health for Samoans. Do you agree with that particular part of the report? If so, can I ask why? In the report that you mentioned in your speech, one of the things that they mention is that food is plenty in Samoa. No one is hungry in Samoa, but poor nutrition continues to undermine the good health of Samoa. Do you agree with that? If so, can you give me about one or two reasons why?
Yes, I do agree. Just because there are plenty of food here. It's just that our people chose to add more salts, more sugar, and whatever other ingredients they want to add in. But it's already healthy. It's already there. But the more they add in, the more disease people get. You know?
Malolava, Miss Samoa Victoria for the entertainment this morning. Miss Space, okay. Sorry, I'm wrong. Anyway, I work for health, and I have been in this country in and out on promoting some of the health issues in Samoa, and that includes tobacco as well. In my opinion, Samoa is going really, really well in terms of their physical activities and also the nutrition education that's happening in Samoa. But in your speech, there's something that really that was missing from your speech, and I've seen it's a topic that needs to be addressed in Samoa. So mental health remains a underrepresented issue in our families and in our communities. How would you empower the Samoa health system to make it a focus for Samoa?
Thank you for the question. That's where performing arts comes in. As I've said in my speech, mental health is a really hard thing to tackle. Some of us cannot communicate with other people that has mental health, but through our dances and our music and our poetry to express and communicate with each other, to understand what you're going through, what I'm going through, then maybe we can both come up with a solution to both our problems.
Hello, it's me again. Thank you for the reminder this morning, Ms. Siniata, of how overly blessed we are as a people. Right, Ms. Siniata, as someone who represents space or the Samoa performing arts and creative excellence, can you name a couple of activities that your organization has actually done through dance to promote health in Samoa?
Yes. I think it was last month. There was a Brown Girl Woke program that we did with Miss Dorothea as my evidence. We went out to schools to promote mental health, the causes of mental health, and how to for you to communicate with each other, because some people, they tend to keep it to themselves, but that was the purpose of our program that we did for the past month, was to encourage, to communicate to the people that have mental health issues to come out, come forward, share with us, and take the burden lightly for themselves.
Malolava, contestant number 6, Miss Space. Please give Miss Space another. Our next and second to last contestant is contestant number 7, Miss Samoa, LA, or Miss Samoa, Los Angeles. Jessica Lalitupe Key is a 19-year-old from Anaheim, California, USA. She is currently working as a reservations agent for Delta Airlines. She loves dancing and playing volleyball and is sponsored by Samoa Watasi. She hails from the villages of Wapato, Samatau, Lepa, Lotuanu, and Apano in American Samoa. Today, Ms. Samoa LA will be speaking on the topic of education. She'll be speaking on topic education. Please welcome Ms. Samoa Los Angeles.
Sorry, I'm like a bit tall, so okay. Palapalapa judges, and my beautiful sisters, and my beautiful guests. As the world evolves into many changes, education and its purpose remains the same. As Oprah Winfrey said, education is the key to unlocking the world. It is the passport to freedom. Quoting from one of the most strongest women figures in the world, this quote unlocks the true meaning of education. Education is both the act of receiving and the act of teaching. The purpose of education is to not only receive knowledge, but to give the young the things they need in order to develop and adapt to the many changes that are going on in this world today. By saying so, when COVID hit this world, education was prompted to change. Education became one of the most hardest problems to find a solution for. It started with lockdowns to no education at all for a long period of time. Then long distance and online learning came along. It was all good, but then it came to the point where there was no kids with no access to internet at home and internet devices, especially here in Samoa. In late 2019, schools in Samoa were closed by the COVID-19 state of emergency. It became a state issue for students, teachers, and parents. The results of this issue started with school dropouts, financial stress, and lack of learners' engagement. There are a lot of things that Samoa needs to improve on, but of course, there are always solutions to these problems. Starting off, the biggest improvement we need is for the students to learn 21st century thinking, which is critical thinking, digital literacy, and just to be able to adapt to new and changing academic environments. We need to improve on training teachers as well for this new academic environment and for kids to mentally value education. In conclusion, the education system overall is a beautiful thing. Like what Albert Einstein said, education is not learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. If we just allow ourselves to help these students by helping ourselves mentally, these new changes will be easy to adapt to. I personally and strongly believe that whatever changes going on in this world, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, education can still maintain its priorities of learning and receiving for the better future of the leaders of tomorrow. Fa'afetai.
Miss Samoa, Los Angeles, Mola Fosanga. So the question is, we know the value of context of sustainable development. You also highlighted some of those factors in your presentation. You also made a reference to COVID and the impacts it's had on education. The question is, how can we take forward some of the lessons from COVID to help us advance our education outcomes as a nation?
Thank you for the question. So personally, I believe that when COVID-19 hit the world, education was prompted to change, like I said in my speech, especially with how our teachers and our students, especially our parents, were not mentally and emotionally and physically prepared for this pandemic to start. So what I would do and what I want to do is to provide mental health programs, which is like psychological help for teachers as well, for students and parents, to be there and financially and emotionally be there for students to be able to mentally value education and overall, especially moving on to future references as for the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you, Ms. LA. Thank you for your small speech. Just a question. I mean, I just celebrated my 25th birthday last week.
Happy belated birthday.
I think you're probably a little bit younger than me, so this question is relevant to you. What are the biggest, why are you laughing? What are the biggest challenges faced by students today? I mean, when I went to high school, there was my own set of challenges, but I feel like that there's a lot of different challenges these days that we didn't have to deal with in our high school or formative years. What are the challenges you think and the biggest challenges faced by students today in the education system?
Personally, so I'm 19, so I graduated last year. So I went throughout my whole senior year when COVID hit. So that really took a big toll on me, especially with my mental health. So I think the first thing that I would say is a big problem to students now, especially in this generation, is mental health. Especially going through COVID-19, I've seen a lot of kids go through depression. I've seen a lot of kids just kind of shutting down, especially on the educational sector. I think overall, I think it's just mental health, and especially just because we're so shut down throughout COVID, especially with the lockdown, quarantine, that really took a big toll on me as well.
After Miss Samoa, Los Angeles. My question is, Samoa is proud to produce top quality and successful professionals like Marianne and Queenie are all going out to the Pacific and regions and to see as well. If you become the Miss Samoa, how can you promote the retention of our professionals to remain and contribute to Samoa?
Thank you for the question. So, and like I said, especially with my speech, mental health is a really big thing to me, especially because I study psychology in college right now. I think the biggest thing that I would love to work on, especially with the beautiful ambassadors, to keep on giving to our nation, giving to our future and our leaders of tomorrow, which is our kids of Samoa, is to work on mental health. Sorry, that goes back to mental health. But it's to work on mental health, and especially because I know that is the one topic out here that is not really brought up, especially because we don't have the resources as well to mental health. So personally, I would, especially starting programs, new programs, for one program for students, one program for teachers, and one program for parents as a whole, to just kind of be united as a nation and be mentally well and emotionally well. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 7, Samoa, LA, Jessica, please, another round of applause. And now we come to our last contestant, contestant number 8. Contestant number 8 is Miss Samoa Melbourne. Helani Pearl Mataupu Kurupu. 24 years of age from Melbourne, Australia. But she's from the strongest village in Samoa, Mota. Just saying that because we are here on Mota land, by the way. Miss Samoa Melbourne is from Mota. She is a youth worker and a personal trainer. She's currently attending Australian Catholic University and studying Bachelor of Physiotherapy. She loves family time, reading, dancing, going to church, and hanging out with friends. Miss Samoa Melbourne, or your contestant number 8, will be speaking today on technology. Please welcome Miss Samoa Melbourne.
Technology is a universally accepted tool in efforts to enhance human, social, and economic development. In its many forms, technology has the potential to increase access to information and knowledge, therefore providing new solutions to development challenges. For our small island state, our pathway to the development of Samoa's theme is to empower communities, build resilience, and inspire growth. In my view, this will not be achieved without technology, as it plays a pivotal role in providing affordable communication, improved access to markets and services, education, and better access to information and news. While there are many aspects of technology, I would like to focus on some of the more notable advances in information, communication, and technology for Samoa. During the toughest times, Samoa, with its limited capacity and technology, have been able to prepare, response, and recover, providing the resilience of our people as we embrace the many advantages offered by digital technologies. Despite having highlighted just a few examples, I know we all have a story to tell of how technology contributes to transformative opportunities for our people. There are also many risks associated with the increase in technology use, such as cyber attacks, illegal materials, cyberbullying, money laundering, e-waste, and many more. And these are all relevant to Samoa. As such, it is important for our local authorities to partner up with international agencies to improve the oversight and monitoring to ICT use in Samoa by ensuring we have the right policies and laws in place. Finally, I believe that technology is good for Samoa across all 14 sectors of its economy. It has not only revolutionized our education, health, and public sectors, but it has most importantly modernized and strengthened the connection of our communities and our families. All of these, in my opinion, addresses national vision of Samoa, which is fostering social harmony, safety, and freedom of all. Brothers and sisters, we are here because of technology. Whakatailawa.
Alofa, Miss Melbourne. Phil Melbourne, ki sa way?
Southside, Hampton Park.
Hampton Park. I used to live in Footscray for a while. And so I'm quite familiar with Melbourne, but they used to call Footscray. But anyway, my Lord Tom Fight, you're the last contestant. Well done, girls. You guys have done extremely well. It's not easy. My question is to you, Ms. Melbourne. With the fast advancement of technology, what role do you think technology can play in protecting our rich culture, our language, and our history?
Sorry, just repeat that, please.
So with the fast advancement of technology, what role do you think technology can play in protecting our rich culture, our language, and our history?
Yeah, simply through marketing. Definitely through marketing. If we show the world that we have a beautiful culture of 3,000 years. We have these beautiful beaches. We have such beautiful people. The whole world is going to see us and how beautiful we are. And so that is a really encouraging way to really showcase Samoa out to the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Samoa Melbourne. Yeah, malo lava le on sai to mai ta ilali le te langona o vela po le fala. My question is very simple. We always talk about technology as a way of the future, but sometimes we tend to forget the aging population of our nation, who are not well versed on this new technology, but they're still part of our society. How can you send a positive message about technology to our aging population?
Sorry, could you just repeat that one?
Explain how you can, if you go to the village and you see your grandma or your grandfather, or your older aunties and uncles who are in the village who are not very familiar with technology, how would you explain to them the benefits of technology today?
Well, I would firstly use our people, especially the younger generation, right? We all know how to use technology. We all know how to do TikToks. We all know how to send a message. We know how to do an email. We all know how to do that. So simply, we just teach our older generations. We live in there and we live with them. You know, it's really on us to actually teach our older ones, as well as educating them on the benefits of technology and just the simple things. Thank you.
Whakatai lava, Ms. Samoa, Melbourne, Australia, for your presentation. My question is, and I believe it's the last question, if you're crowned Miss Samoa, how would you utilize technology as a tool to promote Samoa without running the risk of losing our cultural values as a people?
Personally, for me, it really does come to education as the future of Samoa. It's the young ones that we need to really focus on and push the technology, and especially access to internet. That's where I would go. I would really push forward to have areas and hotspots in Samoa where it's used for educational purposes. They can go there and actually do their essays. They can go there and actually study, because that's something that's really lacking within the educational system. It's the full access of internet and also fast connectivity, and also just really helping them open up doors to further jobs and opportunities, because that's where we really need to focus on. Thank you.
Please, can you give all 8 contestants another round of applause? That basically concludes the pre-pageant presentation or interviews. The main formal part that we are all overall here to witness. Thank you, ladies. As we've always said, right from the start, you are all winners. Unfortunately, we're here to look for that one person to represent Samoa and to be crowned a Miss Samoa. So I do not envy the judges. I do not envy them, because they have been left with that most difficult task. If I can just be given this opportunity again, just to run through and acknowledge our sponsors. I thought I was only going to be given one opportunity, but this guy here said, go, go. If we can acknowledge our naming sponsor, Vodafone Samoa, thank you very much for always being there for us. For Hyundai, for providing the vehicle. It's a brand new vehicle for the winner, for Miss Samoa to use 12 months. Solar Beverages for being the official and exclusive beverage sponsor for the pageant. Orator Hotel, TV1 Samoa for being our media, television, you name it. We rely on TV1 Samoa, so whakawhai. To our bank, PSP or Bank South Pacific, whakawhai lava, Taumisina Island Resort, Tuatanga and the team here at Taumisina, thank you very much. I think we come crawling, well, not crawling in a bad way, but we always ring. We pick up the phone and we say, we need help, we need this. And it's a testimony of the relationship that the Nanaya event and the Samoa Pageant committee has with all our sponsors. So we thank you for that. If any Pacific Theatre Salon and Jackie's Beauty Creations, now these two, and I won't be getting them to come up, the committee matters. You see them running around now. When it's time for Miss Pacific, these are the two that really basically get the girl, present the girl on stage on pageant night. So the sponsorship is not just to run around here, but we also rely on them, and these are also our two backstage that do hair, makeup, dressing, everything. Get that girl and push it out on the stage on the night. So Salote Florist, all our flowers have been done by Salote Florist. I know my wife is here, but Salote Florist, they basically have no choice really. We just put to them and say, we need this, and it's not just for pageant night. When there is something that we need to give flowers to throughout the 12 months, it's always also Salote Florist, just like how we work together with all our other sponsors. So thank you, Salote Florist. Manu Studio, 24-hour photography and everything that we need to get on social media. Banu, Tupe and the boys, Oski boys, they can run away from Samoa, but they can't run away from the pageant. They're now based in New Zealand. And trust me, we had to really beg the airlines to find them one seat for at least one of the Oski boys now. And the other one is arriving tomorrow. That's because we want quality for our sound and all that stuff that we need to put together for the pageant. Here's Boutique for sponsoring gift packs and all the other stuff that we're now throwing at poor Tia's Boutique to do from time to time. Apa Lu ran away, but he was involved with our opening number outfits, as well as just getting all the design done for that. Chada Salon for assistance in makeup. Litapo Manaya, Sayuri, Atuifa Sina Sayuri, Corina Lee. She is our master choreographer for all our, you name it. This year she's not able to attend in person. So thank goodness to technology, we are using Zoom. So the girls have been using Zoom to do their practices, as well as Sleepwell, who has donated a prize for the pageant. On that, people behind the Manaya event, this is our only opportunity that you get to see them. And then you'll see them no more because they'll be pretty much sleepless and running around now, tonight, tomorrow, until this is all done on Sunday. So if I can ask the team, Manaya event, please come up. You know who you are wearing this color somewhere. You're wearing a t-shirt that has Manaya event. And Dice, our light technician guy, please stand up. Please, Dice. For all our light requirements, you will also witness tomorrow on Saturday the light effect that we do put in, and it's all from Dice. I've got that guy standing there on the camera. That is Tupea, our photographer, official photographer. Beata of Beata Salon. Charlotte. Charlotte right there. Basically, looks after everything that we need. Austin, we've got Gabe. Then we've got Cheyenne. Jackie. Aileen. You will see her, well, you'll see her now, but you will see her other side on Saturday night, backstage. I've got Sia Afi here, my PR is also part of the OSCE. Who else is gone? And then we've got all the other girls at the back there. They're all part of Mane event this year, helping get what needs to be done and what you guys need. Thank you team. And then of course me that you all hate by now, you all hate because I don't give you what you need or say no, yes. But this is the team that's basically putting this together for everybody. Now, I will hand back. Oh, if I can just do this while I have the mic before I hand over to. So, after the pre-pageant, there's literally nothing else. You are free. The girls are free. Committees, you're free to take the girls to do whatever needs to be done. But please, 6 p.m. today at Gym 1, please 6 p.m. sharp. Because we will be down there, straight from here, we'll be down there waiting for you guys. Today is our longest rehearsals, because we will also be doing our full pageant rehearsal, putting together our light and sound and all the other acts together. One morning we will probably be there up until 1 a.m. tomorrow. If you guys want to leave early, give us the leave early thingy. You know what we mean. No mucking around, be on time, and when we run things, no do it again. No stopping and do it again. Okay, so you give us that, girls, and we will give you your go home at what? 11? No. But thank you everyone for today. We've got refreshments, and this guy is going to take over.
A round of applause for Leah Tawa, Thierry, Jane Mao. Up front. There's a saying in Samoa, le tua whapoevanga. E taurawana vatsama tutala, foi pea masui o le mana e vins. E vato ese anano whaftaitele o le ale tua maosa matutala. Ai whaftaitele, mai se lava le vasenga i whamasino, i atua fionga i whamasino, e le umalanga luenga. Le koe luaso. Ai whaftaitele mo ngā luenga whita, whaftai fo i la le lei e toa valu Samoa, for your time. A le whaftai sili i au le langolango mātua mainga. Whaftai o au neve i au le langolango lava. Pea masui o mana i events, mātua ti whapea tu ai whawhitai tele le whio mai, tala mai a au, tātou wheloa i tātou talo, i a manuia whamoe moe o aloma. Whanau Samoa, tala le male anganga whaaloalo. Thank you so much. So I think Nathan's inviting us to join heavy lunch. Yeah, before we all go home. Yeah, e whai tātou tau mawhutanga māmai whapoi, male anganga whaaloalo. Yeah, e tali eli tātou sua, yeah, walo tau whawhio mai, whawhitai tele.
My apologies. I had it on my piece of paper and I completely went blank on it. I needed to make and acknowledge Miss Samoa, our rating Miss Samoa. And I looked at my piece of paper again and it was staring at me and I go, oh my gosh. Pono Ipapo. You've been carrying this crown for 3 wonderful years. You've gone down in the history of both Miss Samoa, New Zealand, Miss Samoa, and Miss Samoa and Miss Pacific Islands as the longest reigning individual to be holding the award. And you have made every Samoan from every walk of life so proud because you have carried yourself even up to now. It's almost like you've only just been crowned yesterday. So, whawhetai lava whanu. We also, most of the time, we always forget the support from our parents. Now, there is someone here that deservingly needs to be acknowledged. And this is Fono's dad. Driving the van, transporting all the contestants, anyone that needs to be transported. You see him carrying bags, running around like he is not a minister of religion. That is the support that we've always had from Reverend Silmanu, Fono's dad. And we are forever grateful from day one to now, and even before the time for the Lord ceremony. And we always give grace to God for everything that He has blessed all of us with. And I think I will live on that because I can see you're all hungry now. So, whawhetai lau. Thank you.
Two. Please make your way outside. Our refreshment is ready.
I can still feel where you whispered and you took I can stay right here forever.
All contestants, just make your way. While you come on the morning, we just want to take the photo with our one of our sponsors. Number one.